Welcome to the Momentum Builder Podcast, hosted by Don Goettling, bringing you the top professionals, real stories, and proven success secrets that create unstoppable momentum. This is the show for housing professionals who want clarity, not clicks, where action, discipline, and consistency turn into real results. Top professionals, real momentum, real success. Let's get it started.
Well, thank you for being part of our show today, Momentum Builder, where that is our goal, to help you build, maintain, reset momentum in your personal and professional life. And that's what we're all about. So we align ourselves with some of the top professionals and coaches in the world to help you achieve your goals. And they're not easy sometimes. Sometimes you need a little motivation, inspiration, tactics, strategies, and so forth. And that's why we bring great guests like we do today. And I'm super excited about our call today. Please pay attention. This is one of my mentors. He's a rock star. He's one of our speakers for Momentum Builder Live. I'm bringing him back for a second year because that's how powerful he is and how much great information he has to help you actually achieve excellence and make money, build a business, not just fluff, but real strategies. And we're going to dive into those today because most people think momentum's accidental. You know, they think it comes from motivation and hype and circumstance. And you'll see our new logo, and you're going to love this, Coach Burt. Our new logo actually has more than motivation. That's our tagline, because motivation is exciting, but it doesn't last. And I have an expert at that. And we're going to talk about what's really nice is we align. And I'm bringing on my good friend and rock star Coach Micheal Burt, because he is building out the flywheel of momentum. Go figure. Very aligned with Momentum Builder and what we talk about. And what's nice is he actually wrote a new book we're going to talk about, and you're going to get a kick. And don't hit me for being a little spicy, but screw your why. And I love it. And Coach Micheal Burt is one of the top performance coaches in the country, author of multiple books, including Screw Your Why, and someone who has helped thousands of people activate higher levels of confidence, energy, and production. Coach Micheal Burt, thank you for being on the Momentum Builder podcast, buddy.
My pleasure. And we are 100% in alignment about momentum. And I think that's why we hit it off so well at the first conference. And I'll be back in October and very excited because you put on a fantastic event. And I speak at a lot of events, guys. So this is first class, what Don is doing.
Well, and I appreciate that. And I know that must have been true because when we talked about bringing you back for this year, because I loved your speech. I loved your presentation. I love how you move people and help people want to take action, not just the challenge with a lot of events we go to is that you do get inspired and then you go home and life hits you. Old habits creep in, and then you find yourself back at the event the next year going, shoot, I did not accomplish my goals. I did not do what I said I was going to do. And that's why I love having Coach Burt and why we're bringing him back to Momentum Builder Live again this year, because he has tactics and strategies to help you with that. It's not easy. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, about the flywheel momentum and what he's teaching. And, so we'll start with that, Coach Burt, because you and I are aligned with momentum. I'm the momentum guy. That's what I'm all about. So what is the flywheel of momentum? What is that?
I send a message out every morning to all of our students at 7:15 a.m. And I start the message off by saying inspiration sparks it, motivation starts it, but discipline finishes it. And when you think about momentum, to me, I was a basketball coach, as you know, and you could have momentum early in a game and lose it late in the game and lose. You could actually not have it throughout the game and gain it in the last minute of the game and win the game. And it really taught me a lot about momentum. So to me, momentum is energy. It is headed in a direction. It is created by making a decision and backing that decision up with an action and then having a frequency with that decision. So when I coach people, a lot of people have opportunity confusion. They've been stuck in the same place for years. So I kind of played around one day and I said, man, what do we do? We help people build this flywheel of momentum. And a flywheel is hard to crank up, right? There's some inertia in the beginning, but once it gets going, then it's going, baby. And the way you create it is by taking a series of actions. And the actions start with, certain actions. There's granular actions we take every day, but there's also, I help people find their skill, their primary skill. Most people don't know that. I help them find the problem they're supposed to be solving on planet Earth. And then we help them choose the right vehicle. And then from there, it goes to packaging, to marketing, to monetization. So there's a flywheel that I help people with that really builds a serious momentum in their life.
Uh, on that note, thank you, Coach Burt. Give us a little bit. I just want to dive into letting our listeners know what we're diving into regarding momentum and how we can help them, create it, maintain it, build it, scale it, all that. But give us a little bit of your background, just so the listeners who don't know Coach Burt, who they should, but if they don't, give us a little background, just so they understand, your background and your passion that has helped so many professionals.
I actually spent 16 years as a basketball coach, a women's basketball coach at the second largest high school in Tennessee. I was a deep disciple from 18 to 25 with Stephen Covey. So I was really learning Covey's material at a very early age. I was teaching it to my players. I was inter-engineering the players. So we built a national championship team that would go on to win 8 championships in a 10-year cycle. And so that really started my book writing process. I had no intention of doing what I do today, Don, which is coach businesses and people. I was going to go to college, be a major college basketball coach, because I came from Tennessee. We had Pat Summitt at the University of Tennessee.
Boom.
And when I started writing books, companies began to call me and say, will you speak to our people? I would speak to their people. Then they would say, will you coach our people? So at 31 years old, I retired from the athletic world and then built a multi-million-dollar coaching empire that has spanned over the last 20 years. And then we've got into owning all kinds of real estate. I'm now building greatness factories around the world, which are these really cool hubs where momentum and energy take place. So that's kind of my background. But I'm a pure coach, man. At the end of the day,
well, that is your passion. You can see that that's something you love to do. And what I love about that, Coach Burt, it's important because you walk the walk. There's a difference between, I'm going to tell you what to do, but do I really do it? You walk the walk because you do what you're passionate about. You help others find their passion and their purpose. And not just your why, but your purpose, because everybody has certain strengths, certain goals, certain desires. And I love that you help them find it. Because, for example, Momentum Builder is mine. Yep. Yes, I've done mortgage business to a high level for 40 years.
Yep.
Okay, now, like you switched and found your passion, which is coaching and coaching professionals. My passion is helping others find the resources to help them become more successful personally and professionally. So I'm not a single coach. I align with coaches like you. I align with tech. I align with the top professionals in the industry to help others know how to get to the next level, because that's what helped me. And that's what I love, that you help so many others with figuring out how to really scale their business, because we get trapped, we get stuck. So I wanted to address that, just because you're really good about, okay, how do we get you unstuck, or how do we get you motivated and start that flywheel momentum going? It's hard to get going.
Yep.
And then we'll talk about how to maintain it or how to reset it, because we all get a little, flat tire here and there, and we got to figure out how to get back on the road. So let's start with, how do you start building the momentum that you want? We do activities, but are they the right activities, and are you consistent?
Well, let's start with, psychologists would say that most people escalate commitment to the wrong goals. So they optimize toward the wrong thing. Okay. This is why I'm so adamant in, let's first instead of finding your why, let's find your skill. Okay. Let's then find the problem that you're uniquely qualified to solve. Let's then choose the vehicle that can actually get you to where you want to go. Now, let me give an example. The men's basketball coach I was the women's coach. He was the men's coach, and he was a brilliant math mind, Don. And he could break down numbers, and he taught high school math, and he was a basketball coach. And I retired from that, and I used to call him and I'd say, man, you would crush it in the mortgage business. You're making $50,000 a year. You got a brilliant math mind. You got an incredible work ethic. If we just took that skill and put it in a new vehicle, not only could you lead, so he becomes the number one producer in the company. He does $150 million in mortgage production. He then becomes the leader of all the other mortgage originators. So he's making another $1 million override off everybody else. Now I took him from $50,000 a year to 2 million a year. Okay. Now here's the deal. He's still going to get stuck. Rates are high, hard to sell mortgage. He's been in the business 20 years. He's still going to lose momentum. So how do we all do, right? Life knocks the shout out of us. We come into the world screaming and life knocks the shout out of us and we lose our prey drive. So
True.
how do we get it back? Well, how is momentum built again? It's built by making a simple decision, backing that decision up with an action. And here's the key word, a frequency. Frequency is the number of times something happens. Okay. A frequency is a signal that I emit to the world. Okay. And so that prey drive, which is your instinct, what I spoke on last year, has to be reactivated. And it can be reactivated by fear. Man, I'm going to lose everything if I don't get back at it. It can be reactivated by competition, which I love. It can be activated by environments, which is why people need to come to your conference and be around people that are doing great things. It can be activated by exposure, like I see something that I want, or it could be activated by embarrassment.
Right.
It's like, I am so much better that why can't I figure this out? Okay. So some of you watching this are going to go, I'm escalating commitment to the wrong goals. That's why I don't have any momentum. That's why I don't have any fire. And I need to architect something that I could get excited about and I could build and I could be part of. And that's really how we start building momentum. Skill, problem, vehicle.
But
Okay.
and I love that because you nailed. I guarantee all of you on this call are going. One of those topics that you hit could be embarrassment, need, whatever it is. What you went, that's me. That's where I'm at right now. So what's nice is you can address any stage you're at in your business or your momentum, position, and that's where we align. So the other key thing is, can you share, because this is what changed my career and why we develop momentum builder is because the value of, you mentioned being a part of something bigger than you, being part of a group, being part of getting that, I guess, not just motivation, but consistency and accountability and alignment is really powerful. Because until I found that, I was doing it on my own, which is, I'm sorry, I always love the statement that it's the long road and no guarantee for success. It's a hard way to go. So do you agree that it's really important? You said your surroundings, your environment, how important that is to your success and your consistency?
Let me put this in context. Me and a partner started a financial services firm called the Greatness Lab. And we really think that'll be a $500 million to $1 billion exit in 3 to 5 years.
Nice.
And the whole premise of that is people start dependent. Okay. And dependent is they work with somebody, they got a manager, and that works for a while. And then they say, I want to get out of that and I want to go to independent. But then I'm out there on my own and I don't have a structure or any accountability. But then they figure out I really need interdependency, is I need to be around other people who are like-minded, who will push and challenge me. And I can be in a locker room with somebody and I've got coaching and structure and I want to play at a big level. And to play at a big level, I need an environment. No different than athletes have locker rooms and structures. I need to be in an environment where I'm being challenged, I'm being reactivated. And this is why you go from dependent to independent to interdependent.
I love that.
Okay. And that interdependency is like, hey, man, I need new tools and new mindsets and new structures and new skill sets. Right. And because we can't solve the same problems of the world that we create at the same level of thinking we were at when we created the problem. So sometimes we open up, we go, the way I'm working ain't working, man.
Yeah.
The way I'm working ain't working. And I need a new strategy. I need a new mindset. I need a new skill set. And I got to go get that. Now, what do you need to do when you have that? I remember flying to San Juan, Puerto Rico to meet Dr. Wayne Dyer, because I studied the power of intention. There were some things he unlocked in me, especially with my father, my relationship with my father growing up, who really wasn't there. And I said, I got to fly to wherever this man is and meet him. And I went online that night, bought a VIP ticket, flew to San Juan, Puerto Rico. And the woman there said, Mr. Burt, you must really want to meet Dr. Dyer because everybody here is from Puerto Rico. And you're the only person that flew from, right? And I said, I need to shake his hand and I need to thank him for unlocking something in me. Now, just spending a few minutes with him, just like when I met Cuffy, just like when I've been around some of the best people in the world, the impression of increased on. There's something about that, being in the presence of greatness and people that impact millions of people, that goes, boom, I'm ready. Let's go do this. That is the power of environment and exposure to momentum.
And that is so astute because I know how it changed my life, but I know how many, it's really nice. This is one of the, rewarding pieces of putting together Momentum Builder, putting together the huge event where we bring our community together. Because being together, you meet your friends. I always say when you go to an event, you don't know who you're going to meet that's going to change your life. Like meeting you has changed my thought process about business building and wealth building and everything else. Like treat it like a business. A lot of our industry, as you know, doesn't treat it like a business. They treat it like a job. And once you change your mindset to treat it like a business and surround yourself by others that are going to help you really grow and scale your business, you have to have the right people. You have to have the right coaching. You have to have the right tech. You have to have the right tools and consistency. And I love that you bring all that together and you help us strategize how to take those steps because it is actions. That's the problem. I believe there's a ton, and I know you'll align with this. There's a ton of great intention.
Yeah.
They really want to be successful. They really want to lose weight. They really want to grow their business. They really want to get more partners. They want to make more money. You can go on and on, but what are they doing to actually make it happen on a consistent basis? So how does somebody kind of get that momentum? We talked about starting momentum, but to actually be consistent, just like when you start a diet, everybody drops off. Like I hate January at my gym because it's
Yeah.
packed. It's
Yeah.
like I can't even get to a machine. By mid-February, I'm back to having all my machines available again.
Yeah.
So how does somebody maintain that? And then we'll get into your book too. I want to talk about that.
Well, when I wrote Flip the Switch, which became a Wall Street Journal bestseller for me, I really studied why people become complacent,
Mm,
why people can't
there we
stay
go.
activated over a long period of time, why can't people activate every day, and a couple of simple things for people. Satisfied needs never motivate, only unsatisfied needs. Okay. And so where there's no pain, there is no change in a person's life. Now, I had been on kettlebell workouts, Don, and I like mixing my workouts up, but I said, look, I'm gonna do a kettlebell workout every day, 15 to 20 minutes every single day. And you would be shocked how fast you start seeing results if you will just pick something and do it. Now, in the book Atomic Habits, he talks about a guy who got up in the morning and got himself dressed and he goes to the gym, but he only stays for 5 minutes. And people go, we can't change his life for 5 minutes. Well, the truth is, he did get up out of bed, did get his booty out of bed, he did drive to the gym, and he can't stay for 10 minutes if he doesn't even get there.
Right.
So he is actually building a habit. So when you think about it, we can't knock the guy because now once you get there, I got to increase the intensity and I got to do those things. But the first step is to get there.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
where there's no pain, there's no change. If I have no momentum and there is zero momentum, it's probably because I'm doing the same thing over and over and over. And it used to work, but it don't work today. And I'm kind of stuck in this old way of thinking. And what I need to do is go, I don't grow something by trying harder sometimes. I grow it by trying differently. Okay. And I spent a year with Dr. Price Pritchett last year, who wrote the Quantum Leap Strategy, sold 15 million copies of that book. He and I become very close. So I studied Quantum Leaps, Don, under the master, at the foot of the master. Okay. And he and I did a program together. And the Quantum Leap got me thinking between A and B, between where I am and where I want to go. It's two things: who can help me and what action do I need to take? What's the next physical action I could take? I could pick up the phone. I could make a phone call. I could do a video. I could call somebody. I could take a meeting. I could book a ticket to a conference. There's an action I need to take that gets the momentum going. But where there's no pain, there's no change. So until you're sick and tired of being sick and tired of getting this result, there will be no movement in your life.
Very, very prolific. And I am so much on that page because I had to change, for consistent reasons. The one thing that changed my life was starting my day off the right way. Hal Elrod, and we go down the list. There's a lot of people at 5 a.m. work, you
Yeah.
go down the list because there's a reason behind it. When you start off your day right, the rest of the day goes better. So now when I wake up at 5 to go to the gym, there's no way I can't miss the gym
Yeah.
because I start my day with it. The problem is I used to work out in the afternoons. Well, we get busy
Mm.
sometimes. We get tired. We don't want to work out. And if you do, it's not very powerful. So in the mornings, it will really help to wake up, get to the gym. And sometimes I'll admit, or sometimes I go, okay, I'm not going for my hour and a half. I'll go for a half hour because that's all I have. But it is a consistency. And I always say this because my business partner, Gina, he does the same thing is we've never gone to the gym in the morning and ever said, I wish I didn't do that. Even
Never,
it's hard to roll out of bed sometimes, trust me. But I
never.
have learned that once just do not hit the snooze. As long as I roll out of bed, put my feet in the ground, I'm up. I'm good. I just know that I just need that first step. So it's kind of the same thing, getting that first step to getting out of comfort zone. It's so easy. I love the saying when everybody's like, oh yeah, you have great intentions when you're in bed. You're like, I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I'm going to crush it. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do this and this and this. Well, you're all comfy in your bed. You're not really challenging yourself. And then you wake up in the morning and you go back to your old habits. So
Yeah, and I actually owned a gym, an F45 gym for a period of time. And you want to talk about one of the greatest uh, labs for human nature. One of the things we did to build the gyms, because it was during COVID, they brought me in to turn the gym around. They couldn't sell memberships. First month we sold 43 memberships. And it was all these strategies I was using. It was tactics, it was new momentum. And one of them, Don, was you could work out with Coach Burt at 5 a.m. in the morning. Okay. And on the first day, there were 19 people there, and they had their bandanas on. They're ready to change their life. We're taking pictures afterward. Everybody's like, this is incredible. Day two, 12 people. Day three, 7 people. By day five, Don,
I
there was
believe it.
one little redheaded dude. One dude made it through the week, and he stayed a member and changed his entire life. He changed his entire physique. And I learned by owning the gym, being a partner in that gym, I could study human behavior. Here's the deal. If you miss one day, you give yourself permission not to ever go back.
Yeah.
You miss one day, you go, well, it's easy. Then one day turns into two, two turns into three. You don't prospect one day, that turns into 2 days, and it turns to three. You don't follow up with people, that turns into what you're really doing is your what takes years to build up can take seconds to tear down. Okay. So with momentum, it's like when you quit doing things you used to do to be successful. I used to prospect there. I used to get up in the morning early. I used to work out. I used to prospect from 8 to 10. I used to touch my clients. I used to work my top 25. I used to do events. And then I quit doing those things. What did I say in the beginning? Inspiration sparks it. Motivation starts it. But discipline always finishes it.
Uh, I love that, and it's so true because I've watched. Okay, I've been in the industry for 40 years, managed huge teams up to 1.5 billion dollars in business. So I walked the walk. I've been, and I still consult with the industry. And you're right about the thing. I've seen it happen after COVID. So you know our industry well. You've actually coached people in the industry for years, so it's really nice that you understand the mortgage business and how cyclical and dynamic it can be. So a lot of even my own loan officers that were super successful during COVID, once COVID was over and they had to go back to work per se, they're not willing to do what they were willing to do before to be successful. They got
Right?
lazy. They want to sit behind the desk and just take calls or do it through social media and videos and stuff like that. And I'm like, you have to get out to events. You have to go, press palms. You have to go build the relationships. You have to get more relationships because the industry is slower right now because of elevated interest rates. You have to take actions. And they're having a hard time doing that. And I love when you mention actions because I have to remember I have, my CSO reminds me all the time because it's really easy for all of us to get overwhelmed, therefore the stress levels. And what he always goes back for me is what are your activities that are you doing that you could feel good that you're like, oh, I'm moving in the right direction. Just like working out each day. The first week you don't see any, results. It's usually 2 months, 3 months later, you're like, holy cow, yeah, I lost 15 pounds and I got some muscles building and
Right.
stuff. It's those actions, and I have to even be reminded of that on a regular basis. I just yesterday, my CSO was like, "Hey, chill out. What are the actions that you need to do to start your day so that you feel good that you're like, all right, I'm doing the actions needed to be successful. Make sure we have a successful event. Make sure we have, great speakers and that it's a great experience because the events are not just about who you hear, but how you feel and how it moves you. So it's got to be an experience. Am I right?
Yeah, and there's so many conferences to go to. So think of commoditization, right? There's commoditization that's happened in the coaching industry, in the mortgage industry, and the event industry. And so it truly has to be transformational for a person. And it's got to be, I went there and that was life changing. The people I met were life changing. The experience was life changing. And and almost all of us have had these where we went to events that activated our drive. And it's like, man, you never forget that. You never forget an event that said that was an event that woke me up. I was in a slumber. I had gotten mediocre. I'd gotten away from doing things. And I needed what Pat Riley used to call a thunderbolt. And a thunderbolt is a sudden, unexpected jolt of energy that you need from time to time from something that reactivates that drive that goes dormant.
Okay. So on that, let's dive into your book. I mean,
Yeah.
you have a new book, and I love the spiciness of it because honestly, I'm a Simon Sinek fan. I have his book behind me, Choose Your Why and stuff. But
Yeah.
we went with that for a little bit, but we had to kind of pivot too because it almost became too surreal, like, oh, find your why and everything. So I love your title, your book, Screw Your Why. And I know you still believe in it, but why did you title it that way? And tell us a little bit more about your book and why we need to read it and what we're going to get out of that, because I love the title. I really do.
Well, when you write 24 books like I have, I'm a big Simon Sinek fan too. I just have been coaching people for 37 years, thousands of people. I don't think we find our why and do something big. I actually believe that through the process of doing things, our purpose actually finds us. So I don't think we should find our why. I think we should find our skill. Okay. And then when we find our skill, we go, what problem am I uniquely qualified to solve on planet Earth? And that would both fascinate me and motivate me. And then what vehicle do I need to distribute my skills and talents through? And in the process of this, I actually get what I call purpose tokens in the book. So I do something and I get a little purpose token. I do something and I get a purpose token. It's not like, oh, I found my why, then I went and did something big. I think most people would say my purpose kind of found me. I didn't know I was supposed to be a basketball coach until I started coaching basketball. I didn't know I was supposed to write books until I started writing books. I didn't know I was going to go be an entrepreneur and buy $25 million worth of real estate until I started doing it. So, and then I can go, okay, this was good, but it wasn't that great. This was really good. This is the perfect alignment between my skill and the problem and the vehicle. And I get a lot of purpose. I'm getting purpose right now from coaching my son's 5-year-old baseball team, but it's not what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Like there's no monetization there. It's just purposeful. I get purpose when I help people like you. I get purpose when I speak on stages and I know I'm helping people. I get purpose when I'm opening a greatness factory. So I just think I could know my why and struggle financially. I could know my why and I could be unmotivated. And I actually called the top 5 people that I coach that earn the most money and who I think are the best. And I said, what's your why? All 5 of them told me they couldn't tell me. All 5 of them said, it's just who I am. That is just who I am.
Say that. That's relieving.
Yeah.
Because when I do a lot of training. I talk to a lot of professionals on my podcast and through our interviews and so forth. It's so funny is they reverse it on me sometimes and like, what's your why? I'm like, it's not that easy for me. I'm much better at what's my purpose. And once I found my purpose, it's bigger than me now because it's not just about, oh, I need to make money or I need to feel fulfilled or whatever. No, my purpose is helping others become more successful. That's my gift. I love doing it. I align with the right people to do it. I've been in it. I know how it's affected my career in life because it's not just business too, as you know, it's got to be a balance. If your life is out of whack, whether your relationship, your finance, or whatever, it's really hard to get your head in the right space to be successful. So it's that whole encounter, but I love purpose. I do love that you're based, and I love that when you were, your description of the book and anything, it's people are, obsessed with, oh, I got to find my why, but your purpose, I think, is a little bit easier to follow. Don't you agree?
And I think it's easy to say, what's your why? What's your why? Now, I do like because goals. And a because goal is a big reason you do something when you don't feel like it. Okay. Why? I do this because I want to be in the top 1%. I do this because it gives me a sense of purpose. I do this because I want to live in a better house. I like because goals better than finding your why. Okay. So this is just a different slant on the concept. It's no knock towards Simon Sinek. I actually am a big Simon Sinek fan. I just think as a practitioner, boom, this is, I kept saying it, man, you don't need to find your why. You need to find your skill. You need to screw your why. And people would go, I love that. And I go, okay, that's going to be one of my books at some point.
Uh, and thank you for writing that. And I'm super excited about having you at our event this year because, like I said, you move people. And our goal is to start their momentum. The event hopefully starts to momentum. The beautiful thing that you're going to really appreciate and why you're so successful is we don't leave them alone. We don't get them all pumped up, motivated, give them strategies. And there are strategies that are good today, by the way, Michael. That's why I like having you on is it's not how great you were 15 years ago, 5 years ago, even 2 years ago. It's what's working in today's market so that we have strategies that are relevant to us today. Because we've all seen that speaker that was a big deal 20 years ago. And you're like, yeah, but we don't even use fax machines anymore. I used to fax 100 times. Okay, let's not go there. People are like turned off. So give us some, uh, one, I'd like them to know a little bit more about the Greatness Factory and what you do so that how you help people become more successful, not just mentally, but also professionally. Explain a little bit about the Greatness Factory and how they can connect with you that much more because it would be super powerful and life changing.
Well, I believe that the Greatness Factory is the number one aspirational environment on planet Earth. I built it a certain way in Nashville. It's a physical structure. It's a 8,000 square foot physical structure. It's got 3 levels, podcast studios, theater, cool meeting rooms. It is a financial ecosystem. We've sourced over $200 million worth of deals in the building. We've raised $30 million of capital in the first year in the building. There's been multi-million dollar strategic partnerships started in the building. So it's curated around content that is created by me. People come from all over the world for various events. I have some of the top thought leaders in the world who come in. I just had Dr. Benjamin Hardy, who wrote The Science of Scaling. 10x is easier than 2x. I've had Dr. Price Pritchett, that wrote the Quantum Leap Strategy. These are people I expose my members to. So there's a membership fee that people pay, and then they get coaching from me plus access to all of the events that we do in a year. And we're licensing these around the United States, these concepts. And then I'm owning certain ones myself personally.
And hopefully, where should they look to find out more?
They can go to thegreatnessfactory.com.
Okay, thegreatnessfactory.com. Check it out because I know I've already talked to you because I want to align with you to help more of our members
Yep.
get the same kind of coaching and direction, not just the typical what does a producer need to do 2 more deals. I love that you look at the whole ecosystem, and that's what we're creating is an ecosystem. Here's great coaches. Learn who you don't know about and who aligns with you and what you should learn. Here's the best tech because you probably don't know what tech's out there and what you could be aligned with that make you more efficient and better at your job. Because I know when I aligned with good tech, it changed my entire career because I was doing it the hard way. Workshops and events and community. We're building a community, which you'll love, where everybody can help each other. Well, my goal is anybody's part of the Momentum Builder community will thrive in the industry and leave everybody else behind because they just have all the resources and the community that are helping each other rise above, rise together. So that's our goal. So what would you leave us with to help somebody actually take the actions needed? Because I guarantee most of you on this call would love to raise the bar, whether you're doing, very well or not, we all thrive, to get to the next level. What would you suggest someone do to take that next step to kind of start that momentum as we talked about? What would you suggest?
Well, the word decide means to kill something off. Okay. The word decision means to cut something away. So when you think about a decision, I just think about it this way. What is the next logical step you could take toward moving toward where you want to go? Okay. So in between A and B, I'm at A and I'm out there and I'm doing 2 deals a month. I was doing 7 deals a month. I'm at A, and 2 is the reality of where you are. B is where you would like to be. I'd like to get back to doing 7 deals a month. Okay, between those 2 things, it's just 2 things, guys. Who can help me? And what can I get from my who? Knowledge, skill, desire, confidence, relationships. And what action do I need to take? And we don't experience a quantum leap by trying harder. We experience by trying differently. Okay, so there's a new strategy you need to add. There's a new mindset. There's a new neural pathway you need to open up. Okay. What you got to do is you got to have the foundation in place. You still got to prospect every day. You still got to follow up every day. You still got to engage. But most likely, you got to try something different than what you're currently doing. So you sit down, you go, okay, what am I willing to try? Who's doing what? I can do a comparative analysis. I can say, what's Don's doing? What is Don doing? What's the top 5 people in the United States doing that I'm not doing? What's right? Let me go to this conference to get a new idea. All I need is one idea, man. One breakthrough, one idea, one energy, one concept.
At least one idea, like we talk about the event.
So,
You're going to walk away with 20 ideas, but if you are able to implement even one, it will change the trajectory of your business. I mean, it's done it for me, and it's the most rewarding thing is getting testimonials from people like, I went to your conference and I finally took action. It's never just you motivated me, because then I don't hear from them again because they didn't really do anything. It's those who go, I took action. I did my thing. I read the books. I got coached by Coach Burt. I took action, and now I've doubled and tripled my business. And now I'm working on scaling my business, not trying to maintain. They're trying to scale it. So it's very rewarding to talk to you about these steps. I can go on and on for hours with you. And that's where we're going to keep you aligned with Momentum Builder. And hopefully any of you that are on this call want to learn more, you should go to thegreatnessfactory.com. Read, how many books you have out there already?
24.
24 books. The last one is Screw Your Why. Thank you so much for not just being on our podcast, but being part of our community and being such a giver. You walk the walk. What's really nice, everyone, when I text Coach Burt, he actually texts me back or leaves me messages. He's not above it. He's not above helping people, and you're great at that. You do walk the walk, and there's a lot of celebrities I try to get a hold of or try to connect with, and I get ghosted sometimes. But you're really good about, hey, what do I need to do, and who am I going to touch this week? How am I going to help somebody this week? So thank you for that. You're a good soul. You align with our Momentum Builder philosophy so well, and I can't wait to see you October 6th through the 8th in Dallas this year. Very cool.
Thank you for the invite. Have a great day, man. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in October.
Very cool. Thank you again, Coach Burt. And thank you for being part of the Momentum Builder podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this great info with your teammates, with your friends, with your company. This is good stuff. So thank you for being part of this. Let us know who you want to hear from and what topics we need to talk to. And thank you for being part of the Momentum Builder podcast. We'll see you soon.
You've been listening to the Momentum Builder podcast. For resources and next steps, check the show notes. If today's conversation brought you value, please rate and review the show. It helps more professionals like you to find it. Because this isn't about motivation for motivation's sake. It's about creating real momentum. We'll see you next time.